Good Morning Fayetteville with Gilbert Bays on WFNC.
Well, we're back at it again, back on our podcast. We got Marshall Faircloth, as you can see, on the line with us right now. Not on the line, he's actually in person here. Marshall, it's good to have you here.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Marshall is a Cumberland County Commissioner currently, but you're also a candidate for re-election.
That's correct.
And so you'll be in the primary just coming up on March 3rd?
March 3rd.
Against like 100 people. I mean, there's a bunch of folks running.
We attracted a crowd this year, 6 of us.
Yeah.
For 2 seats. Excuse me. For
two seats.
Yes.
Tell us about your background, your history. You've been there for how many terms so far?
Well, this will be term 6 if successful, although they've not been consecutive. I was a commissioner and a school board member back in the 1990s. I decided to run again in 2008, and I served from then until 2020, and then again in 2022, and I've been a commissioner since then.
And turn my back on. You had a little bit break, and then you came back.
That's correct.
So you're no stranger to running. Did you lose that seat at that point, and then you came back?
Oh yes. I'm no stranger to losing and winning, as a matter of fact. So.
Well, there's something that you learned in both cases. I guess.
You do. Everybody needs a dose of humility, no matter who you are. You certainly do.
Well, what are important things for you right now in terms of the commissioners and the job that you're doing now?
What we're doing now, we seem like we've had about one of the busiest year that I remember, and we're working on clean water in parts of the county. This is a long-term project. We also have just gone through another revaluation of property, and I think I'm trying to count. It's either my 3rd or 4th reval, so I was no stranger to it. But the understanding that we must have is that the county has no control over property values. That's in the marketplace, and the state makes us revalue the property every 8 years, no matter what the situation is.
Now, was that different because 8 years now, and there's some people say that we maybe should reevaluate more than that because there's sticker shock to people when you wait a long period of time and the valuation of property goes up, and then because of that, there's a chain reaction of things that happen in terms of taxes, the value of the home, and what you have to pay in terms of what your mortgage is. Do you think eight years is too long to wait?
It in fact is too long. What happened this time, though, that values did not increase that much over the last 8 years until COVID. And it seemed like it snuck up on everybody. All of a sudden, after COVID, values were way up, and so we caught the tail end of that. In a normal 8-year cycle, it might have been a 25% increase, 3% or 4% a year maybe at the most. But this time it did sneak up on us, and we have already taken that into consideration, and we're going to do it after 6. We talked about 4. But our professional staff said getting geared up to do another one that quickly was going to be more than they could handle, and we would have to staff up more, and it would cost us quite a bit more, and we're not ready to do that. So well, 6.
Next time. And let me point out that for those of you who don't know, Marshall is a CPA, so you talk the numbers, you work the numbers, you walk the walk and talk the talk with the numbers, and so you understand the amount of work that has to go in to an agency being able to do evaluation on how many parcels across Cumberland County? I mean, it's an awful lot of work.
It's way over 100,000. I've forgotten the number. It was 120-some thousand several years ago, so it might be 150,000 now.
And so we're looking to change that to 6 years as opposed to 8. Now, we're not bonded by the state to say do it 8. We have to do it within 8 years. Is that how it works?
Well, there's some technical wording that says if the percentage is changed by a certain amount, you have to do it sooner than 8 years, but typically they don't change by that amount. I think in the last 2 to 3 years, most of our change took place. And computerizing, and we pay people 8 hours a day to do all that hard work, and we just supervise.
I took a pause to make sure you got some water because you sound a little gravelly in your voice and think you need a little bit of liquid there. So.
I chewed some gravel before I came in.
Yeah. This is some of the things that you're working on. Now, the school board requested a certain amount of money. I talked with Kirk Deviere earlier this week. You have to take a lot of pride in what this county board of commissioners was able to do in terms of requests for funding from the Board of Education.
Well, the Board of Education always makes a reasonable request. We cannot tell the Board of Education how to spend their money. We give them what we're able to give them, and this year we were able to give them their entire request plus quite a bit extra for deferred maintenance. And deferred maintenance is just stuff that they know they got to fix. They just can't fix it right now.
And there was a lot of discussion about teacher pay and being able to keep teachers in this area to be competitive, because if we don't pay them like we should, then you have a situation where Moore County, Sampson County, and some of our neighboring counties could steal our teachers because the pay is better.
They could steal our teachers only because the state gave them supplements because of their low wealth situation and did not give it to us. We did not qualify because of our population. So somehow or another, they were able to get better supplements than we were, and we decided to take that on this year. So hopefully we emerge in July as the top dog in the region, and to do that, we had to go into our deep pockets a good bit. But I believe Cumberland County will be the top pay in the region, and they won't be having to cross county lines to get a better job.
If you're just joining me right now at 8:32, we've got Marshall Faircloth, who is a Cumberland County Commissioner, but he's also on board. He's threw his hat in the ring for re-election for another term. Last time you came here, we talked an awful lot about taxes.
Yes, we did.
But it was appropriate because the tax thing was coming along, and that's kind of what you do for a living. But let's look at the crystal ball. If you're reelected, what are you looking forward to continuing to do as a member of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners?
Well, if you want to talk about taxes, property taxes are what the Cumberland County Commissioners are mostly involved in, and this year, because of the revaluation, we were able to get our tax rate down. We talked about revenue neutral, which would have put us at a rate of about 55 cents. And then a few of us got our heads together and said, well, let's really bite this dog hard this year. And we took it down to 49.9. We did that not just to give a tax break to the people, which is a great benefit, but we did it to attract industry. We think that having a 4 instead of a 5 as the first number of that rate, it puts us somewhere in about the middle of the state as far as rates are concerned, and I'm not yet satisfied with it. I think we're going to try to go down with that rate. I'd love to see that first number of 3, not just a 4. So
there's a lot of us who live in Cumberland County that love to see that as well.
Well, it's being talked about.
But it's doable. That is something that's doable just based on the growth that we have here in Cumberland County, the industries that are coming. You got to give tax incentives to get folks here. And I know you got to kick yourself when you see Guilford County or some other county get a business or get a project that we really thought we had a shot at.
That's correct. And we want it to be for reasons other than taxes. If we lose it, it's not going to be because the taxes are too high.
All right, again, crystal ball for you as we continue to talk about the upcoming election, the midterms that are going to be happening here. As you head around and talk with folks, what are they asking you about? What are they saying the most important things that are of importance to the local citizens?
Well, it's the cost of living. Back when Bill Clinton was running, James Carville was saying it's the economy, stupid. You know, he wasn't saying that to Bill, but he was saying that to himself, I suppose. It's the economy, stupid, and that's what it's always going to be. People are always going to vote their pocketbook, and affordability is the buzzword. There used to be other words, but affordability is the one you're hearing now, and particularly young people coming along having to do what they have to do, work 4 jobs to make a living and to buy a house and things of that nature. Well, it's getting tough.
And I was getting ready to ask you, because we hear the term affordability on the national stage all the time, going back and forth between Democrats and Republicans. But it trickles down, not to a national thing, to a local grocery store being able to get eggs and stuff in order to feed your family. And so it may seem like it's a nasty word, but you can call it what you want. The bottom line is the bottom line. And that's what you deal with and our local politicians deal with more than the national stuff. It trickles down to what can we do here as you talk? Can we take that number from a 4 and make it a 3 to really have some impact on the local folks? Talk about that for a second, so how you see that.
Well, going from 0.499 to 0.399 on the tax rate, and we wouldn't try to bite all that off at one time. I have suggested to my colleagues, let's try to do 2 cents a year for 5 years. If we're able to do that, then that's a big bite out of the property tax, and that will put us in like the top 20 as far as the state is concerned, as far as low tax rate. But affordability means many, many things in our area, but we have to remember that counties are subjects of the state. We are creatures of the state. We are here to provide state services. And if state services could be provided by Raleigh, there'd be no such thing as a county. If you go back to colonial times when they started putting counties together, they put the courthouse. They wrote up the county lines and they put the courthouse in the middle at some town somewhere that was supposed to be within a day's mule ride of the county line. So if you lived in the farthest part of the county, you could get to the courthouse and home in a day's ride of a mule. And that's how things were done back in the day.
I don't know about you, Kenny. Is your mule getting you here around everywhere within a day's ride of the county line here at
mule
Samson?
ride.
A mule ride.
As long as I give it oats.
Well, Marshall Faircloth, your time has come to an end here, but we appreciate you coming out. We're going to wish you luck as you head into the March 3rd.
Thank you so much.
And you'll probably have another opportunity to come because we're going to keep bringing folks in here as we get closer to talk about the issues that are important to the county, important to the city and our residents who live in both. And if you live in the city, you pay both taxes, city and the county. And I'm one of those lucky guys live in Vander. Keep trying to get the mayor to annex Vander so I can run for mayor. He won't do it. That's okay. But Marshall, thank you so much for coming out, and we will talk with you again in the coming future here.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much. All
right, you're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got local news right now with CBS 17.
Good morning. From the CBS 17 newsroom, I'm Bill Young. North Carolina is officially in a state of emergency ahead of this weekend's winter storm. Governor Stein will hold a news conference at 11:15 this morning. We will carry it live on CBS 17 as